All right. So yeah, VIP I believe is sold out. I think there's still tickets available. I just want to know who's coming and who's not coming. Well, I guess I just need to know who's coming. I don't need to know who's not coming. Um, because I'm going to bring some gold-blooded hats for everybody that's going to come up, that's going to come to the event, and give them to you guys when I see you there. So if you don't mind sending me a private message and just letting me know that you're coming, so that I have enough hats for everybody that's going to show up. And yeah, I know there's a lot of people that aren't on here that are coming as well. I think Alicia's team, but I'll make sure that she lets them know as well. But yeah, if you don't mind, let me know so I can get kind of a rough idea on how many hats I should bring. And yeah, it'll be sick. I'm stoked. Like, is anybody here that's on the fence? I should say. Still, is anybody here still considering the event? What, haven't pulled the trigger yet? Because they're an absolute game changer. Like I can't stress it enough. They're massive. This will probably be one of the most affordable ones for what you're getting out of it. I know you have to fly to Vegas. Vegas tickets are fairly cheap if you would have got on it a bit ago, but I know the next event is in August, I believe in Toronto. So if there's people on the fence, but they just simply like can't afford to go to the Vegas event, or things just didn't align, or they have some prior commitments, then I would hope that you guys make it to Toronto. There's a couple of people in here that can pull off the Toronto one for sure. If you live in Toronto, should be fine. What's up, Patrick? Are you coming to Vegas, Patrick? And Chris, are you coming? Okay, sick. Yeah, you should try and make it happen, man. Let me know if there's anything I can help with. If you're looking for a spot, or looking for a place or a ticket or something that I can maybe give you help you out. Ask around. But yeah, I just I'm recording it. Yeah, so I does anybody else have any questions that they'd like to ask me right now? Set a goal, so if I hit it's game on. I will need a place in that case, but we'll see. Okay, awesome. It's going to be really good, especially just getting into getting to surround yourself with everybody at that mansion is going to be awesome. It's going to be huge. So I know there's people in here that probably haven't met like Jang and Julian and those guys yet. So I mean that's always pretty awesome, meeting those guys for the first time and actually getting to speak with them, realizing that they're just regular people. Landon and Stabes. I'm stoked to meet Landon and Stabes. I've never met them before, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm sending my family for a whole summer to grandparents in Europe on May 4th. No worries, Stas. You can hit up the one in Toronto in August. At what point in your business did you start doing weekly team calls? That's a good question. I honestly can't remember. I would say I was probably at I'm pretty sure the one in August is in Toronto yet. I'm like 95% sure on that. But yeah, I think I started doing my own team calls probably when I was probably like on the tail end of being 5A. I mean, that's not saying this is not like a general rule of thumb or anything like that. I mean, that's just kind of when I got around to doing it, um, based on the recommendation from Jang. Actually, is what happened, and that's kind of what started me off doing the weekly team calls. I also, I would say I have probably like had 100 people or something at that point already that had come in. When I didn't include $99 buyers, no. Um, I still haven't, just based on the fact that $99 buyers still have access to all the GAS webinars and stuff. And it's just, sometimes it can be a little bit more complicated than anything. And it can be a little bit, it can actually take away from a $99 buyer's experience because it can be overwhelming. Some of the stuff that we talk about in here, about advertising details, stuff like that, I think is just could be a little bit too much information sometimes. They get plenty of that during the GAS webinars. So, no, to answer your question, I didn't involve or include the $99 buyers. I still haven't. I'll probably be looking at the one in Toronto because of the surgery on my shoulder coming up. I'm in and out of appointments with the docs, but my cost per leads are killer right now. Sick. Have people been having any luck with the new webinar, or more luck, or what kind of results have you guys been getting with the new webinar? I'm curious to see if people are getting more buyers or less buyers or the same, or gotta try it, man. What are you running? Are you not running ads at the moment? I also started testing a lot on this new webinar, so it's only been obviously a week, but I'm putting up quite a bit of money into advertisements again. Kind of just started back up after Mexico and got things really rolling again. Started some new campaigns and stuff, so we'll hopefully get some good information or good stats for you guys, some numbers, and we can see how things are going. Just rolled out. They're looking at also improving the coaching process once the $99 buyer goes through that initial coaching. They're going to look at improving that some more, adding in some demonstrations and stuff like that, just because they kind of had taken them out, and we've noticed that a lot of the coaching calls are spent. The majority of the time is spent describing and explaining the Enagic products and like the benefits of what, and purchasing products and that stuff, which is just a waste of the coaching calls, kind of just a waste of the coaching call in general. I mean, that is a good benefit to the coaching calls to be able to ask questions like that, but that should be covered prior to the call so that the call can be focusing on what type of game plan is going to work best for that buyer, that individual. It shouldn't be a surprise that they need to buy a product to get started with as an Enagic distributor. So we were just talking about that in our chat, and that's something that they're improving and they're working on as we speak. They're going to get Dr. Michaels and Balaj to do some demos and stuff like that, and clear things up. So there's just a bit of a gap or a disconnect there at some point. Some people have found, so they're just trying to really close any open loops whatsoever and make it just a really smooth transition from coaching to coaching call. And, that should boost $99 buyers into product buyers. Just rolled a new ad out yesterday. So far, nothing, but it's only my second ad. So I'm trying to find the right interest to target $199 buyer this week. 6 stats. I know they said it's average one buyer for 55 leads. Is that about the same for you? Honestly, it's kind of a vague stat. I mean, it's the average. So obviously there's going to be people that are a lot lower and people that are a lot higher. And it's going to depend a lot on your advertisement, right? That's one variable that is extremely important. It's not just like basically the way you pre-frame the $99 purchase and you pre-frame kind of your ad copy when it comes to registering for the webinar will really make a difference on the quality of leads you get. So, I mean, you can have ad copy that attracts people that just want to click on your ad and throw in their email, but then they don't intend on doing anything. But then you can have, some things in your ad copy, some psychological triggers and things like that, like Landon and Staves talk about, that actually when they come through that webinar, their quality leads, it's not a surprise when they realize they have to actually spend money and sign up for the membership. So it's hard to say. Like for me personally, I've had ads where I've had buyers, probably I've had $99 buyers, but with like probably my cost for a $99 buyer at one point, it was like $60 or something, which is really good. But as of late, my average buyer per leads is way up. It's way more than 55. So it's like, fuck it, I don't even know. Right around like a couple hundred. So that's why I spoke with Landon and Stapes a while back. And they said for certain people's demographic, their longer webinar and their more detailed webinar just wasn't really working very well. So that's why they've cut it down. So now we'll see. Now I've just started kind of running traffic. We'll see where I'm at. I don't even think I've got 55 leads yet in total with the new webinar. Might be somewhere around there, but I don't quite have enough data yet to speak on that as far as the new webinar goes. So I'll just have to keep you posted here. Any recommended interest to target, or does that depend on how the ad is written more? So yeah, that totally depends on the ad. It depends on the ad copy. It depends on the content of the ad, what you're talking about, what your story is, what your avatar is, or just kind of, what your target demographic is. Like for me personally, I attract a lot of oil field people. So as far as interest goes, sometimes I'll create like 10 ad sets or something. One will be like electrician, one will be like instrumentation, one will be millwright, one will be welder, one would be pipe fitter, one would be like offshore drilling, just oil field occupations. And that's kind of how I'll break it down if I'm looking to attract oil field guys. And that being said, I've done that recently because my headline is I retired from the oil field at 28 years old. So obviously that is going to appeal to oil field workers. So that's why my interests are targeting oil field related workers or oil field related occupations, right? So that's just something you got to keep in mind. It has to be congruent. You'll get a lot higher conversions if it's congruent. Is anybody having trouble seeing like this? Is the screen blurry as fuck right now? Mine's like so blurry, but I don't know why. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Not too sure what's going on there. Yeah, I just interrupted the camera. It's not working. I just got this computer. It's like not even a year old. Okay. Where was I? I said an average. Any recommendation on the interest, or does it depend on my ad? Just engagement ads, my dude. Yeah, that's the problem, what they're trying to get away from. And they're also really encouraging the coaches now to start doing follow-up calls and stuff like that because they're spending a lot of time talking about products, which they're going to work to eliminate, and they're going to cover that stuff in the training videos, and they're going to do it in a strategic way so that people can really see the value in the Enagic products themselves, and then they can jump on the call and they're already fired up, and then they can go over some important things like what's the best starting point for them, things like that. And they are encouraging the coaches to start doing follow-up calls. But the thing is, and I think they are going to also implement this where you can tip your coach who does the coaching calls, because the bottom line is these guys are getting paid per call. They're not getting paid for follow-up calls typically. And it's just you can only expect so much from someone who's not getting paid really to do that extra effort, right? They're not getting paid a lot of money to do the calls. So to go above and beyond, unless you have a personal relationship with them, typically isn't happening. So unless you reach out to them and pay them extra and tip them, that's what they're, by the sounds of it, going to implement, like an actual tipping option, I guess. So when your coach does a call, if they do a good job, you can send them a tip. And that's going to really give them the incentive to follow up, right? Like I know Jesse and stuff pays the coaches that do his calls. He pays them a lot of fucking money. Like I think he pays them like $1,000 if they sell a trifecta. Yeah. So they're like, they'll sit on the phone for 2 hours if they have to. You know what I mean? So they're going to hopefully start doing that stuff here soon. So it makes it a little easier. Must be, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Must be a setting on Zoom or something. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, like I said, you can only expect so much, especially I know when I did coaching calls and it was like, there was only, back then there was like me and Mike and Aaron and Jesse. I think that was it. And like fucking, we were doing 9-10 calls a day, and like, regardless of how much effort you claim you're going to put in, by the 8th and 9th call, you're like kind of cruising through it, right? So if there was incentive and people were getting tipped, then I know there would be a huge increase. And I mean, there doesn't necessarily, you don't have to wait for there to be a tipping feature in the back office. I mean, you can reach out to the coach and be like, especially if you have a coach that's taking most of your calls, once you start getting more buyers, some people in here have got a lot of buyers. So yeah, they can reach out to the coach. If you just stick with one person, if you're like, hey, look, is it cool if you just kind of take all my calls? Like, I'll pay you this much. If you sell like a trifecta, I'll tip you this much. So like, that's kind of how Jesse had his setup. He basically has like a group of coaches just for himself and his team. So it's something to consider. And yeah, they're going to make it a little bit easier to do that here in the near future. Anybody else have any questions for me here? I know there's some people that have questions, but I don't think they're in this webinar right now. Who here has read The 4-Hour Workweek? So it's another book that's on my, it's a book I'm reading right now. So that's another one I'd recommend. It's fucking, I'm really liking it. It's pretty big, but it's a good book. Yeah, there's a lot of good strategies in there, a lot of good tips on basically like working more efficiently, not necessarily working more like most of us, including myself. I'm oftentimes just being busy just to be busy, and I'm doing things that aren't priority, and I'm wasting a lot of time doing things that aren't really moving me closer to my goals or anything like that. And it's just basically time consuming activities. That's just a waste of time. So I mean, I've been just trying to work on that as well right now. There's some good exercises in there. It gives you exercises at the end of every chapter. There's even these comfort exercises. I can't remember what he calls them exactly. But like the one was to just make eye contact with people, like for 2 days, everybody you see, just stare, like straight eye contact, like blinking, but don't look away until they look away. Like, and it's super awkward. Like if you're walking in public, you lock eyes with someone and you can't look away, and you stare at them in the eyes until they look away. Or even when you're having a conversation with someone, you'll see how uncomfortable it can be when you make eye contact the whole time you're having a conversation with somebody. It gets really awkward, but it also makes you, basically the whole strategy, the whole point of the exercises are just to make you a little bit more comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah, by Tim Ferriss. It's a gooder. It's really well written. I like it a lot. I've been getting disapproved a lot lately and not being able to post ads as much as I want to. I'm really trying to avoid getting flagged because of how much they keep disapproving my ads. Have you had any specific issue with that? I've tried changing the verbiage 4 times and still not getting approved. Yeah, I've had lots of issues with that. I've gotten multiple ad accounts shut down. But first of all, I would read the Facebook ad policies. It's in the back office. It's part of the training. See if you can sort it out from there. If that isn't working, I would try just for a couple days running just some straight content. So no call to action, no link in there, no nothing. You can try that out. Get Facebook off your back. So I mean, just like, hang on 1 sec. Oh, fuck, it must have just been the light. But yeah, so you can just create a post, you can even just use a picture or something like that, or create a content video like similar to the ones that I've put out there before. Like if you've seen like Gary Vee and stuff like that, they all do content videos. It's just basically straight content, straight value. There's no call to action. There's none of that. You don't have your link in there to register for the webinar. You can do a video like that. Those are really powerful. They also really build rapport with people when you're boosting those, and people are seeing that you're delivering free content and free value-based content without anything in return, right? You're not looking for anything out of it. So then they start to say like, okay, well, this guy's giving me free stuff. Then when it comes time when they actually see your advertisement with a call to action in it, then they're a lot more likely to actually engage with it, because they recognize your face. They built a bit of trust with you because you haven't been trying to sell them the whole time. So content videos are really good. And as far as the content video goes, you can read a book, find something that really motivates you in there, find something that you found inspirational, shoot a quick clip on your phone, and you can upload it onto your Facebook account, and then you can boost it. Or you can even just take a nice picture. You can put a motivational quote on it. You can use like Word Swag is a good app. You can create some good content that way, boost it for like a couple bucks a day only if you want to. And just a broad audience, just boost it for a couple days, do a couple of those so that you kind of get Facebook off your back, and then retry running an ad. The Bravest You by Kurt Smith. That helped me start doing go lives and get on camera. The Bravest You. So you gotta check that one out. As a post engagement? Yeah, you can just run it as a post engagement. Yeah, and sometimes they might have if you haven't been flagged yet, then you're probably all right with your domain if you haven't been actually flagged. But yeah, like Chris said, a new domain could be potentially something you could try. You could also just try running a post engagement with the same ad copy essentially, but leaving out your call to action, and just instead of saying click on this link and register for the webinar, say reach out to me or something. See if they approve that. Then you might know that your domain could be flagged, so you can get a new domain possibly. Thanks, bruh. I've been trying to really build that Instagram account, man. Like, fucking Instagram is a tedious platform, man. You need to be fully committed on that shit. You can't miss a day of posting, or else like your momentum is gone. Like the Facebook algorithm really favors a lot of volume, content volume. So like you should be posting a few times a day kind of thing, building your Instagram account. Especially when it's an Instagram account, like a business Instagram account that's like targeted at entrepreneurs and stuff, and it's motivational stuff. Like a few fucking times a day to get that algorithm really pumping and start building your following, or else it takes forever. You miss one day, you're like starting from scratch. So I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna hire someone to take care of that for me. It's another thing, just like I was talking about. It's a really time consuming activity with a very low return until it's actually built up and it's you have a decent following. But yeah, building that following up takes a while. It takes a lot of work. Yeah, I've never ran sponsored ads on Facebook or on Instagram. I just need trying to build up my just building up my following so I can run some stuff organically. Instagram Secrets is really good for tips on how to build your Instagram account, which is a super powerful platform. Like, don't get me wrong, it's once you get that following, and if you're using it properly, and if you can be really consistent with it and actually build it, it's like the best platform out there for organic traffic, like bar none. It's the best ad platform out there. Like, people don't see your shit when you post on your fan page. Like, nobody sees that. It's like 5% of people or something, or it might be 1%. It's really low. On Instagram, it's extremely high. It's like 80% or 90%. So you can run organic stuff like that, and you can build a massive following that don't necessarily need to be your friends. They can just follow you as long as you're not private, right? And then you can start using it. You can start monetizing that following that you're gathering, but you need to really, really be consistent with it and build up fans, not just followers. People that are going to do whatever you say on Instagram. That's why people like Jason Stone and stuff he's the Millionaire Mentor. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. He's made millions just from his Instagram account because he has such a following and such a large group of fans at this point that basically anything he puts on his Instagram, any offer he has, any business he starts, anything he's trying to sell, people just, they fight to get at it, right? So it's like anything he does now, just from leveraging Instagram, just blows up. Instagram Secrets is by not Jason Stone, but something McGilvery. I can't remember his first name. Basically, Jason Stone taught him everything he knows, and he wrote this book. And Jeremy McGilvery. Yeah, so it's definitely something I would recommend reading if you have the time to be consistent. And it's not like it's super time consuming, but it could take, if you really want to boost your algorithm and stuff like that, you're going to need like an hour a day. And I'm not sure if Alicia has touched on this somewhere else. She probably has. But if you really want to boost an algorithm on Facebook or on Instagram, and you want to start getting a lot more engagement with your pictures and building a following really quickly, you should be posting like 2 to 3 times a day. She's got Instagram training. Okay, sick. I can post that in the Gold Blooded page as well. So you're gonna want to post like 2 to 3 times a day, and then you search hashtags that are relevant to. Oh, it's in there. Oh, sick. Well, it's in there. I won't waste my time talking about it then. Yeah, Instagram is such a good platform. So something worth looking into for sure. And the book Instagram Secrets, it's a really easy read. It's step by step. There's a lot of actionable tips in there. You can implement things after every chapter. That's kind of what I'm doing. I haven't finished it. I'm just doing one thing at a time. And one thing was to get an ebook. I basically got an ebook created, and it's the same as the Gaz ebook essentially. I just changed the whole story, but the body of the ebook is the same. Obviously, I got permission to do that, but and then I just had Fiverr. If you guys are looking to get an ebook made or something like that, Fiverr can create that for you. They did a pretty good job on it. So yeah, and then I built a funnel and stuff like that with ClickFunnels so that I can just start actually using the ebook, and I'm going to use it on my Instagram page because that's what that Jeremy McGilvery dude recommends. and start driving traffic to our webinar just organically through Instagram. But yeah, there's all that stuff in the Instagram Secrets book. How to do it, what to do, what programs to use for what, how to automate things, how to track things, good picture editors, everything's in there. It's a really good book. Anybody else have any questions? Oh, sweet. Are those just like some stock photos that you can go grab for free? Like high quality photos? Oh, it's awesome. Does he talk about that in Instagram Secrets? Awesome. So like, if you want to do something similar to like Millionaire Mentor and stuff like that, like it's really not that hard. Oh, awesome. Sweet. Yeah. It's not that hard if you want to do something similar to that, because there's so many pictures out there you can get for free, like real high quality pictures. It's extremely easy to use like word swag and put quotes and stuff onto pictures. The only thing with that, like I always try to use my own pictures, but I mean, it's obviously it's hard. You start to run out of pictures, especially if you got to post a couple times a day. But the only thing with doing that is there's so many Instagram accounts that do that exact same thing now. They all have the same like luxurious pictures that are just stock pictures they got off the internet, and then they put a quote on it. So it's hard to separate yourself. But what will separate you from other people is putting in the work, because most people aren't willing to do that. Pixels.com. Can you read, Caleb, or what? Just kidding. Oh, that's Chris. Sorry about it. But you can't put your link into Instagram, I guess. Only messages. I meant no one can go through your link from Insta. Is that right? I'm not sure what you mean, Stas. You can have your link in your bio, is what people do. You can have your link in your bio, and which is just your little write up. It also tells you how to write a good bio, and because there's some mistakes that people make writing a bio on your Instagram account. And then once you get above 10,000 followers, you can actually have the feature where you just swipe up and it'll automatically redirect you to wherever you want to redirect people to. But you need to have 10,000 followers to do that, for that to be actually, for that to be released. Pinterest is actually really good too. My girlfriend's account, and send me some good pics from there. Well, you guys can't see this whole chat right now? Let's see. That's kind of strange. I just changed it to all panelists and attendees. Allow attendees to chat with all panelists and attendees. That should fix it. Hopefully that fixed it. Yeah. So, did you actually get that then, Chris? Pixels.com there. I just put it in there. Okay. Pixels.com is a good apparently to get some good pictures. So you guys want to check that out. WordSwag, really good picture editor. Well, I mean, it's good to add text. Snapseed is probably the best picture editor that I know of. If you want to edit some pictures that you guys already have, your own pictures, Snapseed is really good. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I spelled it wrong. What else? Has anybody in here started emailing their own leads using Aweber? All right, would anybody like a bit of are you waiting on training from Landon and Stapes? Gotcha. So if people are going to start using Aweber, and I'm not sure what their training is going to entail, if they're actually going to show everybody how to use Aweber. Yeah, we could do some Aweber training. What people should do, basically, like Aweber has an affiliate program as well. So I would recommend reaching out to, before, if anybody in here decides to use Aweber, I recommend reaching out to your direct upline and just seeing if they're using Aweber. And if they are, then just get their affiliate link from them. That way we can all just kind of be doing the same thing. So, you know, then if your downlines are wanting to use Aweber, then they can use, if they aren't, then I don't know, go to the next person, I guess. Go to the next person up if they're not using it. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not saying you have to do it. It's just a sweet way that we've always kind of done things. I mean, I did with Brian and stuff like that before. And he did it with Brandon and so on, right? Because there's ManyChat has an affiliate program. If people start using ManyChat, Aweber has an affiliate program. ClickFunnels has an affiliate program. Everything. Bulletproof Coffee even has an affiliate program, which I should have been sending people when I was preaching about it all the time. But yeah, there's affiliate programs everywhere. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to rent a car or not. I think like even just it would be sick. It would be fun. It's kind of stupid at the same time because it's like I probably will barely be driving it. It'll be sitting there most of the time. So it could be just a big waste of money, but it would be sick for footage because Brian's Lambo ad has made him like tens of thousands of dollars. So if that's the case, if you can pull off a really good ad that really converts, then obviously it's worth the money to rent it, right? So yeah, we're not too sure. New people can't set up Aweber or ManyChat right now. You needed to have an account and be using it before the Facebook stuff happened a few weeks ago. They are creating their own ManyChat system. What do you mean you can't set up Aweber? I didn't even know about that. I didn't know that you couldn't use ManyChat if you didn't already have it. Can't use new bots with Facebook. Yeah, but what about Aweber though? I'm confused about the Aweber thing because Aweber, our list is just added into our back office, and we take our list from our back office, our Aweber email list, and then it's uploaded from there into our Aweber list. Oh, okay. Yeah, I honestly didn't know that. So just have to wait for the Facebook bot. I haven't used ManyChat in a long time anyways, but um, do you use coconut oil for Bulletproof Coffee, or did you actually order the brain oil from that Bulletproof Coffee website? Another good book I'm reading right now. It's by a guy who invented Bulletproof Coffee. He's headstrong. Yeah, man. I was preaching about Headstrong a while ago. For like, I love that book, man. I cruised through it. I like couldn't set that book down, man. And yeah, I use the brain octane oil. He'll tell you why to use the brain octane oil. It gets you to almost a state of ketosis like 4 times faster than coconut oil. But yeah, I use the brain octane oil. I use the ghee. I use grass-fed ghee as well, which is clarified butter. They just burn off all the impurities. I have used the ghee that's right off the website as well, and I've got just stuff from here when we ran out. And I honestly like the stuff off the website better. It's a little more expensive, and the brain octane oil is fucking awesome. And I've also got the actual Bulletproof Coffee off of the website, which is another really important thing because it has no mold in it. And there's mold in any coffee that you get around here. There's only regulations on how much mold can be in the coffee. In the States, there's no regulations, so they have the moldiest coffee. But in Canada, you can have it's allowed to have a certain amount of mold in the coffee, which causes a lot of inflammation, and some people react a lot worse than others do. But the Bulletproof Coffee is mold free, so that's why we eat, or that's why we drink that stuff. I did everything in there, man. No, we don't barbecue, but we don't eat meat either, so we never did barbecue that much. But no, yeah, the barbecue thing, yeah, when you're barbecuing anything and it gets charred like that, it's like a carcinogen. It's fucking not good for you. But yeah, I've tried most of the things in that book. We even did the full bulletproof diet for a while. Well, it wasn't identical because he eats a lot of meat in there and bacon and stuff, but like the super high fat, high quality fat diet. Started eating fish, ate salmon and scallops for a week to see how he felt. I didn't really feel any different from the meat itself, but a high fat diet, like, felt good. I didn't have any negative side effects. I didn't like put on weight or anything like that. And everything is pretty delicious. Everything's soaked in butter. But yeah, you just ask me about any if there's anything you want to know about that Headstrong book if you haven't finished it. Got lots of the supplements that are got pretty much every supplement he recommends. He tells you at the end. That's why I got those yellow tinted glasses, the blue blocker glasses to block out blue light. I got those a while ago. That's why I told Jang about them. Then he got some. Well, I think he already had some for like gaming or something. But talks a lot about the effect of blue light and stuff that it has on your body. Blue light can even affect your testosterone and stuff if you're a guy and even a girl, but it's obviously less impactful if you're a girl. But yeah, if anybody in here hasn't read Headstrong, I highly recommend it. It's fucking awesome. Also, Headstrong Radio. Dave Asprey does Headstrong Radio. Has a ton of really good information. His whole thing is what does he call it? Biological hacking or something he refers to it as, because he's a computer science guy. Like he was really successful otherwise. But yeah, he's just trying to always hack the human body. So he's looking for everything and anything. He actually has a compound in Seattle that Jang and I were looking into. It's 10 grand to go there for 5 days. It's called 40 Years of Zen. They hook you up to all sorts of things, like they have all sorts of things that are monitoring your brain activity and stuff like that. And basically, Their whole thing is that in 5 days with this like strenuous type of training and monitoring stuff like that, you can get the same type of results that it would take a monk 40 years to achieve. So you can be like, basically just using technology, you can accelerate that shit like in 5 days, he claims. That's where like lots of the big people are going. I think like Tony Robbins and shit went there. He said it's just like Xavier's School of the Gifted or School for the Gifted in X-Men. He said it even looks the same. It's a multi-million-dollar compound in Seattle, and you could pay there. They only take like 5 people at a time. It's called 40 Years of Zen. They only take like 5 people at a time. You need to apply, and I think it's $10,000 each, probably US. But yeah, Jang and I were looking into it at one point. We were gonna go. I think we still probably will. It's supposed to be next level. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions before we get off of here? No, nobody. Mike Wilcott, you still in here? I saw your question that you texted me before I jumped on here. I was driving, but I don't know if you figured it out. I don't know if you're still in here or not. Yeah, Dave Asprey. I just listened to a podcast about the negative effects of wheat. That, man, I don't want to fucking eat wheat. Causes more inflammation than almost anything. It tears your gut literally every time you eat it. You can get what's called leaky gut. And essentially there's small tears. There's small tears that are caused in your intestinal tract and stuff like that and in your stomach lining. And they get to the point where they're big enough that actually some of these particles and stuff will get through. Your body attacks them immediately because they're not supposed to be there, and which causes a lot of inflammation. It causes like a height in white blood cell count. It can cause late onset allergies because your body eventually starts to, build these antibodies for, let's say, if you're eating, who knows what, let's say all of a sudden you become allergic to milk or something, or you're allergic, or you're gluten sensitive, gluten intolerant or gluten sensitive, or, you're all of a sudden you can't eat peanuts and you're 30 years old and it happens all of a sudden. That's why. Is that shit? Um, I haven't tried the decaf one, but I tried there's like a dark roast, I think, and like a medium roast one, or I've tried them both. I think there's only 4 in total, isn't there? Or 3? Yeah, so I had ads running and they were working well, got tons of people to it. Then out of nowhere the video was gone and changed to a pic. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about with that, Mike. I have never heard of that happening before. The video's just gone and they put a pic in there instead, a picture instead. Facebook did that. And you're 100% sure you're looking in the right spot? Has anybody else heard of that happening before? That's the first I've ever heard of that. I'm gonna have to look into I'm gonna have to ask somebody else about that, man. I have no idea why they would have done that. The ads are still running and there's just a picture there. Like, are you using, did you run these, did you create these ads from an existing post? So all on your, like right down your whole feed or whatever, they just have your background pictures with the ad copy that was originally with the video. What the fuck? That's really weird, man. I'm gonna have to look into that some more. I'm gonna ask some other people. I would maybe write Facebook as well, if you can. Ask them what's going on. They might actually respond to you on that one. Yeah, I'd contact them and ask them what the deal is, because I've never heard of that happening before. But I'll ask around a little bit and see what I can figure out. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna pop off here. If you guys don't have any more questions. All right. Thanks for the people who tuned in, and see you in Vegas, bruh. I wonder what. I guess we'll do another webinar before we go to Vegas. Yeah, should actually the 17th I fly out, so we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. I might be just doing it from Vegas, but anyways, guys, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, and we'll chat soon. All right, peace out.